Okay, everybody, let's get started. Welcome to my Twitch stream on Scrivener, which is the greatest ever tool for writing. And basically, what I want to do today is just a very brief introduction to convert you. Like I have been converted in 2009, and it really changed my life in terms of effectiveness, motivation, and so on and so forth. Before that, just while we wait some more folks to join in, I just want to tell a little bit about the channel. So my channel is not monetized at all. I'm not sort of like trying to make money out of being a full-time Twitch streamer. I just use it to spend some time with other people, fellow writers, fellow academics, and so on. Normally, I do have a schedule, so every day at noon I write for 45 minutes to an hour with everybody in chat. The idea is just that we can sort of like write together. I do comment a lot on my writing, so if you want some tips or you have some questions, I'm happy to share those, and those will be on videos. And on Saturdays at this time, I'll basically be talking about one of the tools that I used, and occasionally I'll actually be going a little bit deeper into Scrivener, because obviously today we're just going to be together for like half an hour, so I can only like scratch the surface of of how you use this to write a paper. Obviously, feel free to write questions in chat if you have questions, and at the end I'll just show you a link to Scrivener where you can buy it. I think about getting an affiliate link so I could get a little bit of money if some of you buy Scrivener, but I just thought let's just keep this as a peer-to-peer. We're just colleagues sharing some ideas. And I do want to say this. I'm not like a super productive academic in the sense that I publish a lot of papers every year, but I do have like two claims to this being a useful stream. The first thing is that the papers that I have published have all been written by myself, and they've all been written in very hostile contexts. So with either doing a lot of teaching or doing a lot of management work. So, and although I haven't like published a lot, I do get to write a lot every day, and and I do have a little bit of output. But this is what it is. So take it with a grain of salt. My goal is, again, just to introduce you to a tool, okay? And this tool is Scrivener. And what Scrivener is it is a writing software for complex writing projects. So if you're writing a letter, just keep using Word or TextEdit or WordPad, whatever you use. But if you're writing research papers and you're using Word, you're literally Stone Age, and your world is going to be blown out when I introduce you to Scrivener. Now, on purpose, I'm just showing you a window from Scrivener that actually looks like a window from Word, right? So this is the introduction section for a paper that I actually just got a nice revise and resubmit decision. And what I want to do today is it's very simple. I just want to tell you the five things that I really like about Scrivener, and and how they help me do my work. The first thing, which if you're an academic, this may blow your mind. If you're not, maybe not. This may seem very simple, but it's actually super powerful. Is that Scrivener allows you to keep a complex research project, so multi-year, multi-version, conferences, journal submissions, reviews, everything in one file. Okay, one file. So this is a paper. The title of this paper is Fashion AI. Okay, like this is it. This is the whole thing. This has, we as academics, we have version 23, version 24, whatever of a paper. I have version 24 of the paper, but it's one file. Why does this matter? Well, it matters for two reasons. First, because Scrivener has a super powerful versioning tool that I'll show you. So, you don't need to wonder what's on version 15 of your paper. The second reason is that this means that you can work on your paper with every single file that you need, every single version, everything, in any device that you want, and even on a friend's computer, right? So for example, I have Scrivener has an iPad version, and you could just work seamlessly between your computer and the iPad. So one file, okay? Now I told you Scrivener is for complex research projects, but this just looks like Word, and actually looks like a pretty small Word document, okay? So the first thing that I want to show you on Scrivener is something called the binder, okay? And here it is. Here's the binder for this paper, okay? Now, the binder on Scrivener is basically organized into two parts. The draft, where you keep your text, your article, and research, where you keep everything that you need to write your article, okay? So that's first key idea from Scrivener. Everything is on a single file, okay? And we'll get back to what you can do on research, but I'm just going to show you a paper that I've been working on for 10 years and just show you what it means to have, again, on a single file, an entire research project, okay? So here's the draft of the paper that I'm working on now. And now, if I open my research folder, you'll see notes for every part of the paper. So these are my notes for the theory section, notes for the different parts of theory section, for methods, for results, for discussion. Okay, so notes. I have models and mind maps, and these are things that I drew in other applications that I can, if I'm writing the discussion, I can refer to this figure and write the discussion from here. I have data, and these are it's output from qualitative research software. Some software is not really good at outputting, so these are screen grabs, okay? It has all of my conference papers, okay? They're all here. All of the previous submissions of this paper, so this is everything, all of the parts of the paper that I submitted to Work Science, that I submitted to, I don't know, anywhere, okay? All of my previous manuscripts from, when you'll recognize this, right? So like from submission systems, so this is this was on 3 rounds of MJ, okay? Graveyard, which is text that I wrote, and I, think maybe, sometimes in the future this may be interesting, and, we don't know. Literature, so, this can be screen grabs from dictionary definitions, notes that I made from papers, everything. So basically the idea is in the research part of your Scrivener file, and again, this is like one file, right, that has all of this. You can keep everything from handwritten notes, previous manuscripts, typewritten notes, previous drafts, reading notes, audio files, movies, whatever you want, okay? And I'll just show you how I use the research part of the paper, but again, the possibilities are endless, and you just have all of this in one single file, okay? Now that's the first thing, the one file. Second thing, again, this will seem a little bit trivial, but it's super powerful, not only from a writing perspective, but also from a motivational perspective, okay? Now, the second thing that Scrivener allows you and encourages to do is to split your writing project into parts, okay? So I always use the same split for papers. I always do the same thing. I have the abstract, the introduction, then a theory section split into three parts, a method section, a result section that typically split, a discussion section, and a conclusion, okay? And you say, well, you know, why does this matter? Why does it matter that you can, you know, why don't I just have a one Word file or one file with all of the paper? Well, the first reason that it matters is for motivation, right? So, you know, when I'm done with the introduction, I'm done with the introduction, right? I've done something. I've accomplished a task in my paper. And as you know, some things are more pleasant to write than others. Sometimes you're like tired and, you know, you're not up to, you know, you can like write something new. So you know, you can just go to your methods and work on your methods. Or you can, you know, if you finish the introduction, you can go back to the introduction and work on it. You know, so it really helps, like you've accomplished a task. The second thing is, I told you that Scrivener has an amazing versioning system, right? So this idea that, you know, we all have this, right? Version number 23 of something. Now, normally, I mean, in the past, before I used Scrivener, and maybe some of you do this differently, but in the past, before I used Scrivener, basically, whenever I did a major change, I sort of like saved the version of the paper. But there was no way where I could sort of like track what I had changed and where I had changed the paper. So what Scrivener does is it does this thing. I'm not sure I have this on this paper. I'm sure I have it on our paper. So this is the sort of like the information panel, which is a panel that changes in each of these individual documents, and that keeps a lot of things. One of the things that it keeps is your snapshots. Okay, so what snapshots are preceding versions of the text that you have, and it's super easy to make a new snapshot. So, you know, imagine that I want to change this from information systems to IT. And I'm super paranoid and say, maybe I want to get back to the version where I have information systems. Super easy. You just go here and click snapshot, okay? And you can just like put nothing, or you can just put changed IS to IT, right? And there you go. Now, what you see here is all of the snapshots that I took. So this is like version 21, 22, 23, 24, but just of the introduction. So I know that I changed the introduction, did major changes 8 times. I know the dates. I know what I did. So for example, in this one, I know I did some small edits and references. How do I know? Because that's what I wrote, right? Here I know it was a major revision before rewrite, right? And look at this. What I can do is, I can just then, if I'm like, you know, so I remember this was like a brilliant piece of text before rewriting it, so see full rewrite. So I just need to see what's the difference here. It's very easy. I just click the compare button and you see full edits here, full edits, right? So I can see the original. And so this is how it was on December 9th, 2019. And here's the comparison to now. And obviously, these are major full rewrites, so obviously there's a lot done. But the other thing that you can do is, I can just say, look, I don't want this compared by clause or by word, but just by paragraph, okay? And here, basically, what you see is that I deleted one thing and changed another. But if I go to just edits and references, obviously, I haven't changed any paragraph, but I can do the whole thing, you know, and you see, you know, what I changed and sort of what remained the same, right? So this here is in black, okay? So not only do I keep, you know, as many versions as I want of my paper, you could have like 100 of this, right? That I can organized according to date, according to title. You can put keywords in the title if you want, right? I can roll back and get, you know, and transform my new version in the past version. But I have this at the section level. And here in the theory, where I have split this in subsection, I have it at subsection level. Like, think about how useful this is, that you have track changes whenever you want, so as many as you want, or a few as you want, for each part of the paper, right? You don't need to go back into version 23 and see the whole theory, right? You can go to your theory and see, okay, when I finish the first draft, what did this paper look like, okay? And I just compare. There you go, right? And again, I can compare this, again, you know, for major changes, what you want to do is compare it at the paragraph level. So anyway, the other huge advantage of splitting your text is that you can actually use this part of the binder where you have your text as a task management software, right? So I'll show you on the more complicated article. I can show you. Because I've been using Scrivener for a while, so I have my system, okay? So basically, when I'm writing something, it's in this like sort of like white paper format. When I finish the first draft that is written from start to bottom, but I need revisions, it's yellow. Then I change it to blue when I'm happy with the revisions, but not with the writing. So the content is good, but I need to, you know, shorten the sentences, polish the text. And then I do a check mark when the text is polished, okay? So you actually have, you know, some sort of like word tracking system embedded in Scrivener. You know, and I mean, these are my icons. You can use this or not use this at all, right? These are this is the way that I use it. But you can use this, you know, and really know, okay, so now, you know, I'm too tired to like write new text or to edit ideas, but it's okay for me to go and change the words, okay? So, you know, so if something is blue, I can go to the little blue file and work on the English and, you know, don't have to really use my brain. So for me, that's like really transformative, the ability of splitting this document, have different syncs for each document, and like really being able to use these icons, as you can see, like, you know, so this is the ones that I do, the yellow notepad, the white and the blue. You can really use this, you know, as a task management system, okay? So that's the second thing that I love about Scrivener is this, the idea that you're splitting your project and that you can have snapshots of specific parts of the text. As you can see, for example, here on methods, I just have a snapshot for references and edits, and you'll see I didn't do a lot. You know, because methods, you know, it's typically not the more demanding part of writing a research piece. Okay, good. So now what I want to do is I want to show you the research folder. Now, the research folder is really something that is very personal, right? So each of us uses different things when writing papers. For me, what I realized, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my iPad, but I should be looking at a computer. So what I realized is that a lot of procrastination when you write is about confidence. So one trick that I use to get myself into writing and not procrastinating is to to have a notes folder on my research folder. So here it is. And what you'll see is that my notes folder mimics the structure of my draft. So I have the introduction, I have notes for the theory folder, then for theory 1, theory 2, theory 3, notes for methods, notes for results, 1, 2, and 3, and notes for discussion, okay? Now, this is, you know, pop psychology, but it works for me. Again, I just want to show you the possibilities. You do what you do you, okay? So I'll show you what I do. For my notes, what I do is I write it in a different font that for me, just for me, for Joao personally, this is my sort of like draft. This is not real text. It's not the final paper font, right? So it's like this typewriter font, okay? And what I do is I actually sort of outline a lot, right? And I have like multiple outlines. So, but you'll see that, for example, here I actually just wrote the entire introduction. It's not even outlined here. You have a little bit of an outline, but here's the entire introduction. And the feeling is that, you know, I'm not like really writing the introduction because it's not in Times New Roman and it's not in the draft. So it really flows because I don't feel like I'm like producing the final product. Is, you know, it's just a draft. It's just drying, you know. And you can see obviously in more complex sections like the theory section, you know, I have this like huge outlines that I then write things up, you know, and sometimes I'm almost copy pasting this into the main text, but you know, it just helps me out, okay? And here there's, you know, another like super cool version of thing that Scrivener does that seems like completely idiotic. I mean, this is basic, but it's super helpful, is the ability to split your screen. Split your screen. So if you, I just used a keystroke command, but there's a menu. And the idea is that, you know, for example, if you're writing theory, right, you can have your notes on one screen and your text in the other screen, and you can write from here, right? But sometimes, you know, in qualitative research, sometimes, for example, when you're writing the discussion, you need to see the theory as well, right? Because these things are supposed to be connected, right? So what I can do is I can come to the screen and say, okay, I want to see the discussion, right? And so as I'm writing the discussion here, and I can add it on both screens, as you can see. So as I'm writing the discussion here, I can see, okay, am I covering everything that I discussed in the theory, yes or no? But I mean, Scrivener is so flexible and so cool that you can even, you know, imagine, and this is what I'm doing now, right? So now I'm writing the discussion of not this paper, another paper, and I need the theory, I need, you know, I'm writing the final discussion, but I also need my notes for the discussion, right? So what you can do is you can come here to my discussion notes, right? You'll change the screen here, just for a second, okay? And I can say, okay, I want this in what Scrivener calls a copy holder, okay? And I'll just click here. And now I have, my dear friends, I'm just going to close the binder because it's easier. So I have 3 fully editable. So I can write here, I can write here, I can write here, fully scrollable independently, right? See, I'm scrolling here, this is the same, this is the same, this is the same, pieces of text, right? So these are my notes, these are my notes, this is a discussion, and this is the theory. External reference manager, yeah, I'll just show you super quickly at the end, but you can see here, there's this is the sort of like the reference linking format that my reference manager uses. So then what I can do is I can go, so this question that Felipe asked in chat, does it use a reference manager? I can just then, you know, just do the references when the paper is done through the reference software. I'll just show you very quickly how to introduce a question, a reference at the end, okay? So this is, you know, this is really cool. And you can tell me, yeah, I can do this, you know, all of this in Word. Of course you can. You need to open to have your paper in 3 different files. Not a lot of people do this. And again, you are doing this from one file with separate versioning systems for every part of your paper, just like really, really amazing, okay? If you're writing, you know, the results section, you can have your notes here. So the last one I'll show you. You can have open in copy holder. So you can have your results here, right? Your notes here. You write the results section here, right? So I'm writing results here, and I can go to my data, right? I mean, this is like literally outputs from NVivo. If you use NVivo, you'll know, right? I can go to my data and pick up my quotes from here. You see? So obviously, is this complex? Yes, because research papers are complex. When you're writing the results section, you need to be looking at your data, you need to be looking at your outline, and you need to be writing your text at the same time. But here you can do this. And again, the amazing thing about this piece of software is that you can do this from your iPad, or from, you don't have NVivo on your iPad, doesn't matter, it's here. You don't have your writing application on your iPad, doesn't matter, it's here, right? So, and this is, basically syncs through Dropbox, so it's, so basically if you save your file in Dropbox, it'll always be synced. So as you can see, you can have like, you can really do really special things with this piece of software. Okay. Now, again, there's a lot of things you can do, and what I'm going to do is every Saturday at 2 p.m. I'm going to have a sort of a 30-minute stream to go through these and other tools. So obviously we're not going to cover everything about Scrivener for research papers today. Obviously, feel free to ask questions and I'll answer them at the end. I just want to show you like one final thing that for me is super cool, which is the amount of annotation that you can do on Scrivener. You can really do like amazing stuff on Scrivener as far as annotations go. So I may need to switch papers because I haven't worked on this one recently. Let's see. So this one may, okay, so what I'll do is I'll switch to the paper I'm working on now, okay? Just because that one I know it is annotated. There we go. Yeah. It's a little bit of a rougher paper. Okay, so this one I know it's annotated. So let's go here. Okay, to the theory section. Okay. So basically, I showed you that here you can have your snapshots, right? So previous versions of the paper, but this it's called the inspector window. You can have a bunch of other stuff, and obviously all of this is resizable. One of the things that you can have are notes, right? So let's see, do I have notes for this? No, I only have notes for this. This paper, I just basically wrote the entire outline, and I'm writing the main text now, so you just see just theory and review have something in them. But you can basically just pick up a piece of text, right? And just add whatever comments you want, right? This is completely hidden, right? This is completely hidden, unless I'll just unformat this, sorry. Okay, good. This is completely hidden until you want to see it. And the way to see it is you just click here, right? So I had a relatively complicated comment from reviewer number 2. And I was writing the outline and said, okay, I know I have this complicated comment that I need to address when I'm writing the main manuscript, but as far as the outline goes, I'll just copy paste it here, right? So I'll just have it here. And you can see it's like massive. You can do massive annotations anywhere you want, right? So let me see. Oops, sorry about that. My notes. So, you can have just a few, or you can have lots of annotations. All of this is searchable text. So you can just do a find here, and it will search through all your files, right? So if you put the word effect, it'll just search through all of the files that have the word effect there. Sorry, I just moved from there. Okay, so this is searchable. So you can make as many annotations as you want, and they will not be in text, but they're readily available if you want. If you want, I don't use this, but again, this is something that, how to use Scrivener yourself, as you can, for example, instead of having this separate notes section that I do, right? So I have this separate notes. There's actually a notes section for each file on Scrivener where you can write whatever you want, okay? And this is separate notes. This is the notes for the theory section, for the entire thing. It's almost like if you had if you wrote notes on a paper and just clipped it, okay, or stapled it, right? And then in addition to that, you have what is called here the synopsis, okay? I don't use it in all papers, but sometimes I do. And this is, I really love this. So you have this thing called the corkboard view on Scrivener, okay? And so I'll just reset everything so that you can see, okay? And so basically what the corkboard view is, it provides you a little index card where you can write anything you want about this bit of text, okay? Sometimes I personally use it just to write just summaries. If writing a paper, I know, okay, this is what I want to say in each bit. I'll just write it here because it just feels like super a little bit friendlier, just helps me out a little bit more, but this depends a lot on you and how you write. So this is how annotation is basically structured on Scrivener. The first thing you do is you have an index card. Imagine your theory section is a bunch of typewritten sheets, right? You have a small index card on top of all those sheets. That's this, okay? Then you have a sheet that is stapled to all of them. So this is the, if you go here, this would be the, sorry, let's go here. This would be the notes, so that I would write here. I don't use them. I just keep my notes on the research folder separately. And then you have these annotations here, which I'll just show you. Okay, these ones here, which are like post-it notes that you put throughout the text. So you really have amazing annotation capabilities, and this is super helpful, super flexible, and you can really use this to work on your text. So again, the idea of Scrivener is it's something that you're going to use to write a letter. It's something that you're going to use to write a complex project where you have multiple versions of. Let me go back to the other project. You have multiple versions of the multiple versions of the same chapter. Here I only have a few. Okay, here I have two. So multiple versions of the same part of the text. The text is divided in multiple parts. Some parts will be more advanced than others, and you need extensive research notes with data, your own annotations, right? Data, outlines, previous papers, and obviously I'll open this. It's painful, but your reviews, write your review letters. So for example, something I do is I write review notes. So I split the screen, have the reviews on one side, my notes on the other side. So you have everything since the beginning. This reading notes from previous papers. Everything in one file that you can take around with you anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap up here. If you want to review the video, it's Twitch will save it as a VOD, so as a video on demand. You can check just like if it was YouTube. And if you have questions, obviously let me know. But again, feel free to drop by the writing streams at noon on weekdays. And if you just want to hang out and chill out, I stream gaming on weekends and weeknights after 6. This is just to hang out. I'm not like a massive gamer. We just have fun and chat together. And again, my idea is just to share. I make like literally zero money from the channel, and that's not the intention. So Yeah, I didn't forget. Thanks. I'll just show you how you use the software. Okay. Now this will change from one software to the other. I used to use Papers as a reference software, and Papers has a system-wide citation tool that you can just automatically introduce citations from any piece of software that you're using. I use Bookends now, and Bookends is just a little bit more limited, but Papers was just became too bloated and too slow. So I'll just show you how to do it, right? Bookends is bad. It's not like automatic system-wise, but it's but it's not that bad either. Okay, so I'll just show you. Okay, super quick. Again, this is super easy. So imagine I'm here, right? And I need to. So this is my. I'll show you. So this is typical reference software. So there are collections of papers. These are the papers, information about the paper, and the PDF, right? So if I want to include this paper from Barbara Czerniawska here, right? I'll just put the cursor, put Barbara Czerniawska, and then I think it is copy citation, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and then and there you go. I just had a prompt because I hadn't. This is a new computer and I hadn't used the software first. So here's the reference, right? And obviously, if you want to use multiple references, you can do it as well, right? There you go. So it is as simple as that. Now you can then produce the final version of the paper from Scrivener if you want. I just got a little bit lazy because at the beginning of in the very early versions of the software, so I've been using this for 11 years. This was a little bit more cumbersome. Today it's like super easy, but I basically just put this into Word and do the referencing from there. So basically, then you have to open the reference software to produce the reference list, and I'll do it from there. So that's easier. But yeah, so yeah, exactly, Felipe. I had Papers as well, and I moved to Bookends because it was just a mess. I got all these repeated papers and so on, and it was relatively easy to use. Okay, guys. So I just want to say thanks so much for joining the stream. If you want to be nice and say thank you, the best way to do that is just super quickly create a Twitch account and follow me. That helps for the channel. If you want to hang out again noons on weekends, I write for an hour, and basically I'll be writing on Scrivener, but I will make comments on why am I doing things or not. And occasionally show other software. Evenings and weekends, mostly gaming. Just stop by, hang out, and chat if you want. And thanks again. So I'll end the stream right here, and feel free to drop me a message on Twitch or Twitter, and with questions or to discuss later. Thanks, and have a good afternoon, everybody.